Hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to Sci-Finatics. Well, aren't these trailers for Strange New Worlds dropping thick and fast? We've had so many of them. They're dropping a trailer a day at the moment. It's hard to keep up. So we've got the Ortegas trailer to have a look at. We've got the Hema trailer to look at. We've got the Dr. MBenga trailer to look at. And we've also got the Nurse Chapel trailer to look at. So we've got 4 Strange New Worlds trailers to have a look at. We're getting a really kind of good sense of the show now, which is really interesting with all these trailers that are coming out every day now. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Sci-Finatics yet, please go ahead, do so. Click on that big red button to stay up to date with all the latest Star Trek news on YouTube. So first we'll start with the Ortegas trailer, have a look at that, break it down, and then go through all the other 3.
Erica, take us closer, please.
How close do you want to get? First date or third date?
Blind date.
Proceeding with caution, sir.
We have incoming.
You know how you used to brag you're going to be the best pilot ever to graduate the academy?
What's your point, sir?
Time to prove it, Lieutenant.
Now we're talking.
One thing I'm gleaning from these Strange New Worlds trailers is that the fact that the show has a more playful sort of sense of humour, I guess, a lighter tone than maybe some other Star Trek series. I think our characters are going to have a little bit of fun, which I think is good. I think the lighter tone is a great angle to take. I think Kirk's Enterprise, there was always a little bit of, a light-hearted sort of, wink in the eye, sparkle in the eye from Kirk and so forth particularly. So I'm glad we're getting that in this show. It looks like we've got some really interesting sort of ship action. We've got the unknown fighter here. I'm not sure what race it comes from. I don't recognise the ship design. The only ship I can recall that's got that sort of 3 tri-winged kind of configuration is, I think it's the Xindi had the Xindi insectoids or something had a sort of a tri-winged kind of ship. So, but it doesn't look like it's a Xindi ship unless they've, been redesigning significantly since Enterprise days. And our asteroid force field net here kind of reminds me a little bit of the old Tholian web, with the ships doing the grid pattern web, but in this case it's sort of like an asteroid-based sort of security net of some kind that seems to be trapping the Enterprise in this trailer. So it looks like some interesting episodes coming our way from Strange New Worlds. All right, let's have a look at the Hema trailer and see what Hema is up to.
Storm's only getting closer, Enterprise.
Transporter room to engineering. Hemmer, I'm losing them.
Try it now.
How did you?
I am a genius.
Hemmer may not be able to see, but his other senses compensate.
Compensate? They are superior. You humans waste so much life worrying about death. The Enar believe the end only comes once you have fulfilled your purpose.
So what was your purpose?
To fix what is broken.
One thing which looks really good about Hema is the fact that obviously there's a nod to Geordi LaForge. I think, he's the chief engineer and he's blind. Geordi LaForge was the chief engineer and he's blind. There's definitely some similarities there and some mirroring of concepts between Geordi and Hema, which is kind of cool. I also like Hema's, what seems to be his very dry kind of wit, very dry manner that he's got. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Reno, Jet Reno in Discovery, who is, has that very kind of dry wit. And, I'm wondering whether we're going to see a little bit of humour come from Hema, but sort of unintentional humour, He's obviously seems to be very serious, very professional, and I'm guessing there's going to be, some light-hearted moments that will come from that seriousness. Firstly, in this trailer, we see Number 1 and a bunch of other Starfleet crew with her, obviously waiting to get beamed up from a planet. We've got 2 red shirts there, and they're not part of our regular cast, so I'd be worried if I was them. We know what happens to red shirts in these situations. And it looks like we also have another uniform variation. Our transporter chief is wearing another variation again. I think there's at least 2 different variations in uniform aboard the Enterprise here, and we've seen a few different crew members wearing them, and this is just another variation yet again. Also good to see engineering here. Obviously we've got the big warp core going on, but it's sort of mounted horizontally as opposed to the warp cores we tend to have had in the past from other Star Trek series, Voyager and Next Generation, and and so forth. We don't really get to see the warp core in Discovery at all, but I think it's good. We've got the pride of place, warp core back again in engineering, and it looks like it's quite a big engineering set. Also looks like we've got some other interesting alien confrontations going on, interesting ships, interesting locations and planets. It's definitely going to be an intriguing first season, I think. Okay, so now let's have a look at Dr. MBenga and see what he's on about.
What is this noxious paste you're applying to our skulls?
Ground search. Trust me, this will become Federation standard. Eventually. I am Chief Medical Officer on the flagship of Starfleet. Prejudice has kept people from helping each other for centuries.
Doctor!
Disease and suffering could be things of the past. I am a physician. There must be another way.
First thing I noticed about Dr. MBenga in this trailer is that he has a much more pronounced African accent than he did in original series. I think the 2 episodes that he appeared in original series, he had more of an American or even a sort of a slight British accent, I think, for his character. But they've definitely gone for a more African accent in Dr. MBenga here. The other thing I've noticed from his particular trailer is how big sickbay is. It looks enormous. There's so many bio beds, there's so many displays, and there's a lab station, and it's I think it must be one of the biggest sickbay sets we've seen in a Star Trek series before. I'm also gauging that all of our sets in this show are all very, very white. I've got very white corridors. The sickbay is very clinical and white. It's certainly the most sort of monochromatic kind of colour palette. Apart from the displays, we get obviously the oranges and the reds and the yellows and stuff from all the display screens and everything. But in terms of our furniture and walls and ceilings and floors and everything, it all seems to be a lot of whites and greys and everything, which, I think it's different. Okay, let's have a look at the final one of our trailers for today, which is the Nurse Chapel video. Let's take a look at that.
This is Nurse Chapel.
Welcome to Enterprise. Sounds like you're just the person for the job.
What job? I'm gonna mess with your genome. Is it safe? Almost every time.
I thought you might need to discuss your feelings. I feel I should have seen that coming.
It's good to get back sometimes.
I applaud your performance.
Don't thank me. I know I'm good at my job.
It looks like we're getting an episode of Strange New Worlds here where there's some sort of outbreak. There's a lot of shots here where we've got sick people being dragged into sickbay, passing out. We've got bio beds filling up. And looking at one of the screens here, we've got a disease called cygnocemia, which is obviously what kind of disease that people are suffering from. It's spreading around the ship like COVID, clearly. And we've got people, ending up on bio beds left, right, and centre. So this is obviously going to be one of our challenging episodes for our medical team in this episode. Also, it seems like we're getting a little bit of Nurse Chapel and Spock relationship stuff in this season. Obviously, there was a little bit of hinted feelings in the original series between Chapel and Spock, that sort of Chapel had a kind of thing for Spock, but Spock couldn't really reciprocate. And it seems like they're potentially exploring a little bit of relationship stuff between Spock and Chapel in Strange New Worlds. And it also seems like Nurse Chapel has got a bit of sass. If I remember the character from original series, she didn't really have that much sass. She was almost a very submissive character in original series, but it seems they've given her a bit more sass for Strange New Worlds. So obviously somewhere between Strange New Worlds and original series, she loses that sass, which is a shame. The other thing which seems apparent from all these various trailers we've been getting for Strange New Worlds is that it seems like we've got a very diverse crew for Pike. It seems like when Kirk becomes captain, he demotes Dr. M'Benga to like a secondary or third doctor on board the ship in preference for McCoy. It seems like the majority of the crew gets either fired, demoted, sacked, or leaves by the time Kirk takes command. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section about these 4 new Strange New Worlds trailers. Leave a super thanks if you're able to, really helps the channel out. Like and comment, check out my merch in the merch store where everything's on sale for 20% off until the 4th of April, so be sure to check the merch store out to pick yourself up a t-shirt or something at a bargain price. And I'll catch you guys very soon for my next video. I'll see you soon.